And there's loads of things happening around us, Keith. So could you take us through some of the things that happen in here?
Okay, so we've seen the tea being actually made and produced in Kenya. Once it arrives in the factory, it arrives in the paper sacks. The tea buyers and blenders will actually taste the product, and then they'll blend some of those teas together into what they call a blend. It's a bit like a recipe, and that recipe will then be programmed into the computer. Just over on the computer over here is where we'll actually program that recipe into the computer, and then we get our helper, Robbie the Robot, to help us actually put that blend together.
Can I meet Robbie the Robot?
Of course you can meet Robbie the Robot as well.
Let's go and meet Robbie the Robot, hey? Oh, so this is Robbie.
Yeah, so this is Robbie the Robot. So before we had Robbie, we used to have 70 people in here actually picking the tea up and putting it onto the conveyor to be processed.
Wow.
But we've used Robbie now. We have Robbie the Robot here, who's what he will do is we put a pallet of tea on the tracks, and on the blend there's a number of pallets that go around the tracks, and Robbie will pick up one of the paper sacks and then he'll put it onto the conveyor to go into the first drum so it can start to be blended.
So how does it pick up the sack? I can see it kind of lifting it up, but how does it grip the sack?
So Robbie has is basically a big suction cup. That suction cup sticks onto the sack, and then he's able to pick the tea up and then drop it onto the conveyor as well. And it means he can do it a lot quicker than we can as humans as well.
Robbie's very strong.
He is very strong as well.
Now I know you've got another version over there, another big machine, another big robot. Has that got a name as well?
Yeah, so we have two robots here. Unfortunately, his name is Robbie the Robot 2. So we have Robbie the Robot 1 and Robbie the Robot 2 as well. So not very imaginative.
And both of them are working all the time and lifting the sacks?
Yeah, they're working all the time to lift the sacks when we're actually blending the tea to go through to be blended into tea bags.
Okay, so where is Robbie popping the sacks when he lifts one off and puts one down?
So what Robbie's doing is he'll pick up the sacks, he'll put the sack onto a conveyor, and what that conveyor will then do is that conveyor will take the sack all the way up to the first blending drum, which you can see just over here as well.
Fantastic, so it's taking it right up to the top.
Yeah, and in that first blending drum, what that does is it just removes the paper sack